Words Art students. It's Mr. Kerwin, and I just wanted to share a quick lesson with you. This is my dog Mace, and just to show you that I've been doing my artwork too. This is a painting I worked on, and Mace is going to walk away now. But just so you can see, I've been doing that stuff too. But I'm going to show you a real quick art lesson right here. It has to do with stuff. You got to sit down now. Sit. It has to do with two things that students say they have problems with, which is drawing people and drawing hands. So I'm going to show you the simplest, super simple way that I use to draw people. And like I talked before about using simple shapes, all I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a rectangle. Okay? And then on top of that rectangle, I'm going to do a circle. All right? Now the length of the rectangle right here, the length of the rectangle right there, I'm going to use that for the length of the arms and the legs. But I have four corners here. In each of those four corners, that's where the arms and legs are going to go. So I'm going to do an arm right here. Notice how that length is about equal to that length. And an arm right here, and that length is about as equal. And then a leg here, and a leg here. All right? And that gives me my basic form of a person. So now, if I do an outline around this, it gives me a basic person's form. But the problem is nobody really stands around like that. That's kind of a boring thing, right? So if we have these bend at the elbows, bend at the knees, then we get a more dynamic looking person. So let me try that again. I'm going to start with my rectangle again and my circle. And this time, I'm going to have my person bend at the elbows and bend at the knees. Maybe I can add some little feet down here. And now when I draw my outline, I have a more dynamic looking person. Fix that up there a little bit. And when I erase these lines on the inside, I have a little bit better of a look right here. Okay, so if I just add things like pants and shoes and a shirt, and it starts to look a little bit more like a person. All right, you can add other details later on, but that gives me the basic form. All right, I have found that to be really helpful. All right, so now the next thing I'm going to show you is a hand, because everybody says they have trouble with hands, right? And a lot of people draw their hands like this. Ooh, that is a no good. All right, instead, if you look at my hand right here, all right, I want you to think of the palm of your hand as like a square, right? Notice you have my wrist is coming off one side, and my fingers coming off the other side, and the thumb's coming off down here. So if I think about that, I'm going to start with my palm of my hand as just a square. My wrist comes off of one side, my fingers come off the other side, just like that. And notice how I made these two fingers about the same. Here's my middle finger, that's a little bit taller, and then my pinky is going to be the shortest one. So notice how they are set up like that. Then off of this corner right here, I want to make my thumb. So again, that gives me the basic structure. And I'm just doing basic shapes. But now if I do an outline around this, that gives me my hand. All right. Now the cool thing about this is you can change the hand, right? So maybe I want the hand given a peace sign. Okay. So to do that, I start off with my rectangle. And again, I have my wrist coming off of one side. And then my fingers here, I'm going to draw my first two fingers. Remember, your middle finger is the long one. That's my pointer finger. Then I'm going to have my ring finger turned down, and my pinky turned down. Okay. But again, they're all the way across that top part of that square, right? Opposite of the wrist. Okay. But then I have my thumb kind of curves around like that. Right. So when I look, right, there's my thumb, my fingers. That's my basic structure. So now when I do over my outlines here, there's my thumb. I'll erase my lines on the inside. Here's my two fingers, just outlining those. And there's my two fingers that are turned down. So there's my fingers giving the peace sign. So if you use that, that's a good basic way to do those structures of the hands. And again, you can make it kind of cartoony. You can practice a little bit more looking at your actual hand to make it more realistic if you want. The more details you add, the more realistic you can make it look. But that just gives you the basic structure. Hands and also our human form. Okay, those are just really, really quick and easy ways, something you can practice a little bit. So try those out, see how they work for you. All right. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm an email away. Have fun, Kenny Woods, and stay safe.